Hello, welcome back. It's so good to see you. So today we are going to be working on a little diamond painting. It's actually my son's, and my daughter has one too. She's been working on it. They got these for Christmas, and they've just now started working on them. But my daughter is working much faster than my son. So he's done about this much, and then I did a few rows, and then he just did a little bit this weekend, and he's like, this is taking forever. So I decided that I would do a lot of it, and then when he gets back, he's gonna be like, wow, I did more than I thought. And then he'll be able to finish it much faster. But let me show you just how pretty this is. It's much prettier than like those bigger diamond paintings because these are like almost like crystals. They're gorgeous. But anyway, so let's go ahead and get started. And we won't do them all because I want him to be able to finish it. And also that'll take a really long time. But we'll see how far we can get. This is that little sticky stuff. Oh no, it's rolling away. This is that little sticky stuff that you stab at the end so that you can pick up the diamonds. And this is the little tray that you put the diamonds in and you can shake it around. Let's open this up. There are tons of them in here. It doesn't fill up the entire case though, so. But let's see. Let's pull this back. And then we'll work our way down. Okay, so it looks like there's a bunch of F's. So let's get a bunch of F's. And there's F's down here as well. I wish I had something to like hold this down. Maybe I can set that on there. Okay, so let's get the F's. F's. This all the like light green is F. So I gotta get a bunch because there's tons and tons of F. This is easier to work on because there's less letters and numbers and stuff. Usually there's a lot more, like on the bigger ones, you know? Okay, let's see. Oh no, am I gonna have to get that sticky stuff already? I think I might. This isn't really sticking that great. We'll see how far we can get with this, and if we need to stick that little pink thing, we will. So, I usually talk about something. I am going to stab that little thing, because it's kind of hard to grab them. I usually talk about something. So, I was trying to figure out what could we talk about while we do this. And I decided that we should talk about my weekend. Not this last weekend, but the weekend before last. It was crazy. It was so busy because my daughter had a birthday party to go to with one of her friends at school. And this girl, her friend at school has been planning. A little piece of the pink stuff is like hanging out. I don't like that. Her friend, ever since the beginning of school, like all the way back to like the first week in September, this girl has been talking about her birthday party and who is going to get to go to the birthday party. I think there's too much pink stuff in there. she didn't say where her birthday party was going to be at or anything, but she was going to have a slumber party, and only her best friends got to go to the slumber party. And obviously Emma was chosen. Like, come on. But Emma, so she's been talking about the slumber party's coming up, and the slumber party was at the very end of February. And then 2 weeks before the slumber party happened, I was talking to this girl's mom, and she was like, yeah, I can't get that the next day off, so we're not going to do the slumber party. And I'm like, oh no, Emma's going to be crushed, because she hadn't said anything about it. And so when she got home from school, I was like, girl, the slumber party's off. And she was like, why? And I was like, because your girl's mom said, she can't get off, so instead they are going to do, like, you get to go to the nail salon. The original girls that were going to go to the slumber party are all going to go and get their nails done together. So she was having a actual birthday party at, there's too much pink stuff in there now, at this place called Urban Air, which I don't know if it exists anywhere else, but it's basically like, I've never been there before, but I thought it was like kind of like a trampoline park or something like that, because there's like lots of jumping activities and stuff. I don't know. I've never been there, so I didn't really know what it was, but I was just like, okay, so the birthday party was going to be at Urban Air, and then the girls were going to spend the night, but that had to be canceled. So the girl's mom was like, I'm gonna take him to the nail salon. I'll make an appointment, for the group of girls. And I was like, well, because I was gonna take Emma there, and I was like, well, I have to bring my son with me, because my husband works on Saturdays, so can they do boys' nails? And she was like, oh yeah, no big deal, because David, he doesn't care. And I was like, we need to get you some super cool, super cool nails or whatever, because I don't know if you're aware, did I just drop one? Yeah, but super cool, like rock stars, they paint their nails. So, and David, he's painted his nails before, like, he does not care. Anyway, so I was like, we're gonna get you some super cool nails done, right? And he did, he got his nails done. So we meet them at the nail place, and all the girls are there, and it's like, oh my god, such awesome, cool, fun times, because they're getting to like hang out with each other outside of school, and I don't know, they just had fun. But anyway, so Emma got her nails done. She was so cute. If I have a picture of her nails, if I can remember, I will try and post it so you can see. It's really pretty. It's like this black and red ombre effect. She absolutely loves it. Okay, we're looking for F. F is down here. Okay. So yeah, she picked like black and red ombre effect color, and David got Minecraft. So he got these nails all painted black with like little stars on it, so it would look like space. And then on his thumbs, he got little Minecraft, like floating, not Minecraft, what am I saying? Among Us. He got Among Us nails, and they are so cool. Don't tell Emma, but I like his nails better. But anyway, so they got their nails done, and it was taking quite a long time. you know, because it was like 6 girls who had to get their nails done, and some of them were getting actual like acrylic nails. I did not want Emma to get that. No. Some of them were getting like those gel things and whatever. Anyway, so I talked to the mom and I was like, okay, I gotta go, because I had to go let Ava out because, again, my husband was not home, so I needed to take her out to go potty and stuff. Okay, we're gonna work on, let's do bees. Bees, yeah, okay. And I was like, so I can meet you at Urban Air. And she was like, oh, you know what, me and all of the girls, she had a car and she didn't have that many like spaces in the car. She didn't even have a space for her own, like she's got 2 daughters. She didn't have a space for her other daughter, so she was gonna have to leave that daughter at the nail salon and then have their dad come pick her up because there was no room, because these other moms were just dropping their kids off at the nail salon and just like, hey, have fun, let me know when stuff's over, you know. So she was like, so I'm gonna have to take like 5 girls in my car and like I don't have that much room. I was like, don't worry about it, I was gonna take Emma to the party anyway. And she's like, well, me and the girls, we were all gonna meet at Share Tea to get boba. And I was like, okay. I had already had plans to go to Dutch Bros to, you know, get drinks or whatever, but I was like, boba, like that just doesn't seem like something that I would like. But I was like, I didn't want her to feel left out, so I was like, all right, just tell me where it's at and I'll meet you there. Let me just go let my dog out and then I'll meet you there. So I let my dog out, and by the time I was done doing that, they were actually on their way leaving. So I was like, cool, we'll go meet you there. So we met them at Share Tea to go get boba tea because they were all just dying over this boba tea. All these 10-year-old girls, you know. I was like, whatever, okay. I was like, maybe it's the best. So we all got boba tea. Emma got the boba tea that has the balls at the bottom, but I was like, I don't know about that. And they offered this like blended drink, so me and David got the blended, what I thought was blended boba tea, and because it looked like one of those pink like strawberry frappuccinos from Starbucks, so I was like, oh, that'll be good. But I tried Emma's because I was like, can I just try that or whatever? So I tried it, and of course I got one of those little balls, and I was like, oh, no. I was like so glad that I did not get the boba tea thing, because it was like, the liquid part was fantastic. It tasted amazing. I think she got strawberry boba tea. That part was great. It was super delicious. But the ball part was like, it almost felt like a gummy. Like, you know, like a gummy snack or something. It was real chewy and just, I don't know, it wasn't for me at all. And I was so happy that I didn't get that. Me and David had got the blended drink. And so I was like, oh good, this will just be some smooth kind of drink. So I took a drink and it was pretty good. And David took a drink and he was like, oh yeah, this is good. And then we took another drink. And there was no of those tapioca balls. Oh, this doesn't look like this color. What is that? I think that's there. Need a few more bees. It definitely, oh no, oh my gosh, can't believe I did that. Oh no, I can't get them. It definitely was not a boba tea like she had with the balls in it. Oh no, come on, little thing. Oh my god, it's stuck. Okay, this stuff is real sticky. can't believe I did that. But anyway, the stuff in this blended drink, it was worse than those little tapioca balls in the boba tea. It was some sort of weird cubed, like, gel thing, okay? I don't even know how to describe it except like a gelatinous, rectangular, almost slimy thing, and I was just like, what the hell is that? And David was like, we were walking to this little park that was in between the boba tea place and urban air, because there was this like artificial grass, like greenery stuff, and there's like a water fountain and stuff, just to, because the party wasn't ready yet. And so we were walking across the street. It's not like a real street. It's like this, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, we were walking across the street, and I took a drink of it, and I was like, oh my god. And I wanted to like spit it out. That's how bad it was. But, you know, that would be rude. So I just like swallowed it, and I was like, oh my god, this is the worst. And then a second later, David was like, Mom, that was the most disgusting thing I ever had. And he was like, I literally just threw up in my mouth, and then I had to swallow it because he didn't want to be rude. And I was like, oh my gosh, me too, me too. And he was like, we gotta find a trash can. I was like, just hold on to it, don't drink it, and don't say anything to anybody. And, you know, as soon as, like, we go to the place, we'll throw this away, because I'm not going to force you to eat this. This is, oh, it was bad. Okay, we need a bunch of A's. A's. Like, a bunch of A's. Look at that. The whole dinosaur is basically A's. So we need a bunch. Hopefully I don't spill this, because there's going to be, like, dozens of them, like, everywhere. Be careful. Okay, so anyway, me and David are basically dying, and Emma, she's like loving her. She's like, oh yes, this is so great. And I'm like, this is so gross. I did not like hers at all. I was like, we are never having boba tea again. And then when we got home later, Emma was like, yeah, that was actually pretty gross. And I was like, oh, why did you drink it? And she was like, because I didn't want everybody else to feel bad, because they were loving it so much. And she didn't want to be rude, so she's like, this is so good. And she drank the whole thing just so that she wasn't rude. And I'm like, I mean, that's sweet, but like, don't force yourself to do something you hate, you know. She was like, yeah, I won't mind ever having that again. She's like, I kind of wish that we would have went to Dutch Bros. And I was like, me too, girl. Ugh. So anyways, so we finally make it over to Urban Air, and this place is packed, and like the whole parking lot, it's this this place is like in this shopping center that's kind of like right off of the freeway. But the parking lot is huge because there's other stores like Dollar Tree and Tuesday Morning, and I don't know, some shoe stores and stuff like that, Sam Moon and whatever. Anyway, so the parking lot is actually quite huge, and we had to park almost at the freeway entrance, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, this is awful, because I did not bring my cane, and I should have. It was very far just to walk into the building, but I was like, whatever. Once I get in there, I was like, let me hold on to one of you guys. Oh, I found a bee that I didn't get. trying to get one without actually getting it out. But I was like, let me just hold on to you guys so that I don't fall over, you know, just to get into the building. And like they had said that they were going to be serving cake and pizza and stuff like that. So I was assuming that this place was going to be like, I don't know, like Chuck E. Cheese, or we have this place pretty close by that's called like Incredible Pizza, where I actually like the theme of Incredible Pizza because it's got like a 50s theme. And whatever, we'll talk about that later if we have time. But like there are places where you have birthday parties and there's arcade games and all kinds of stuff, right? Like Chuck E. Cheese, but Incredible Pizza is way better than Chuck E. Cheese. Anyway, so I was assuming that it was like that. So like when you go into Chuck E. Cheese or Incredible Pizza or whatever, you have to go through the entrance and you have to get like whoever's in your party or whatever, like there's a parent and then kids, right? So they usually stamp your hand with like this invisible ink, and then they have this black light that they can shine on it so you can see what the number is, so that like, you know, somebody can't just walk off with a random kid, right? It's like a safety thing. And because they want to make sure that everybody's leaving with the right people and stuff like that. So that's how they do it. So I was expecting, you know, that there was going to be some like little reception area, check-in, you know. And then like the other places, they have like the activities, and then there are like benches and chairs everywhere so that the parents can just like chill and let their kids do stuff while they're in an area where they can still watch them, right? That's what I was thinking, which is why I did not bring my cane, because I was like, I won't need it. There'll be chairs, I can just watch the kids, you know. I was wrong. I walked in. Was there reception? Was there a security check-in type thing? No. You walk in, and this is like a huge warehouse type building, and you just are directly in the chaos. And like the second the door opened, it was just screaming, kids running everywhere, just screaming at the top of their lungs. And I was like, what is this nightmare? Like, oh my gosh, it was awful. And I was like, where the hell do we even go? Because there was nothing, no counters, no check-ins, like nothing, just pure chaos and kids screaming and like a billion people everywhere. And I'm like, I am so not about being around a lot of people. I'm like, is there gonna be people there? Ew, like I'm not gonna want to do that, you know. Like just no. And there were like hundreds and hundreds of people, and like adults everywhere, but like kids were just screaming. Oh, like it was absolutely the worst. And I was like, where do we even go, you know? And then I found like this counter that's off to the side and in the back, and that's where like you pay to go in, right? But since it was a party, we weren't having to like pay to go in. So what number are we doing? Or letter? We're doing A. We need lots more A's. So it was just pure chaos and terribleness. And I finally go up to this counter, and I'm like, we're here for the party, you know, this person. And they were like, oh, okay, you need to go all the way down that way, and then it's going to be the first door on the left. So I'm like, oh, okay, she reserved a room, so we don't have to be in this chaos. Oh, thank goodness, because there was this place like back in the day where my niece went to a party, and it was like that too, where it was like this jumping place, and they had all these blow up deals and pizza parties and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, thank God she reserved like a room for the party, you know. So we go back there, we go open the door, and I'm like, oh no, because this room that was reserved was just a table. And I'm like, oh my God, that's not where the party is. That's just where the cake and the pizza are going to be. Oh my God, how is this going to work, you know? Because there was no organization. It was just hundreds of kids running and screaming. And I'm like, oh my God, this is my nightmare. Oh no, I dropped one. This is my actual nightmare. Just crazy. So I walk in, and the mom, she's actually there, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is so, I can't believe the amount of chaos that's happening right now. And she's like, what chaos? What are you talking about? Like, this was totally normal. And I'm like, open that door? That? And she was like, oh, huh. Like, it was no big deal. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm just like, no. And the kids, like the girls in the group, some of them were in the room, but the birthday girl was not even there. And I was like, where's the girl, you know? And she was like, oh, she's out there somewhere. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? What? Like, I was just like, you don't, like, in my head, I was like, you don't know where your own kid is? What? And she was like, yeah, they can just all go out there, and they'll come back eventually for the party or whatever. And I was like, what the hell is going on? I was like, this is not how a party goes. But I'm like, okay. And so she's like, yeah, kids can just go. And my kids just went bolting for the door, and I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. You hold on, buddies. Like, there's no way you're going to be running around without me. Because I was panicking because there was no security. There was no check-in. Literally, some kids were running in and out of the door of the building. And I'm like, okay, what? Like, I know this is, like, not an appropriate thing to talk about, but this place was like a pedophile's dream. Because as I was going around with my kids, first of all, the place is completely dark. There's nothing but black lights and strobe lights and everything just going everywhere. And the music is blaring, which it's also a kid's dream. Like, just pure chaos. They can run around and scream, be as loud as they want, do whatever they want. Yes, kids would love it. But so would a freaking pedophile. Like, there was no check-in, no, like, this is the party that you're with. Nothing. Anybody could walk into this place, grab a kid. The kid could be screaming, and they could walk straight out because somebody would just be like, oh man, their kid's having a temper tantrum, and then they could just steal someone. Like, and I'm not even being like a paranoid, like, helicopter mom. That could literally have happened and no one would know. It was awful. And there are all these, like, little places behind these events that anybody could go to, and, like, oh god, it was like the most terrifying place I'd ever seen. And I was like, how can this place even exist? Like, especially in the place where I live, in the Woodlands, where there are, like, just Karen cities, right? Like, how has no one complained about this? I just, it's so dangerous. And I'm, like, wondering, because before we went, I had to sign a waiver for, like, if they get injured or something, like, we can't sue them. But I'm just like, yeah, sign, whatever. I'm wondering if, like, in the waiver, it said something like, we're not responsible for your child or anything that happens to them, because I'm telling you, like, a children's place is supposed to have some sort of security or protection or something like that. This place had none of it. None of it. And yeah, the kids were running around like crazy, and I was like, okay guys, I have to go with you because I don't trust this place. And there were tons of adults just standing around looking like, where the hell is my kid? Because they didn't know. It's a huge warehouse that is completely pitch black dark. There's black lights and strobe lights and just stuff everywhere. No one can hear anything except for screaming and loud music. And I'm like, if I could go there during the day with like the lights on and there's less people or something, yeah, that would be great. The kids would enjoy it. But I was like, this is not, there's a safety concern here that I'm not just concerned about my kids. I'm concerned about all the other kids, especially the kids that were at this like party, because their parents didn't even go. They just dropped them off at the nail salon and they were like, cool, tell me when it's over. Like, I don't see how people can just be so like carefree with the safety of their children. Like, I am not like that at all, you know. But anyway, so this place had like, I don't know, obstacle courses and go-karts and I don't know, like trampoline areas or whatever, where like the walls and floors were trampolines, and they had like these relay race things, and I don't know, it was the weirdest thing I've ever been to. But, and also, like, you can't wear shoes and stuff there, so you have to wear socks. But they're like, you can't wear your socks. You have to wear our socks. You have to buy the Urban Air socks, which I think is so weird. But whatever, but we didn't have to. It was like part of like the party thing or whatever. They just gave you the socks. But if you ever want to go back, whatever, as long as you keep your socks, then you don't have to pay for socks again. So, but I don't know, that was just so weird. And then they had like these zip line things, and it's definitely a place to get injured. Definitely. And wouldn't you know it, Emma got injured. But did she tell me? No, she didn't. She didn't tell me until we got home, because she didn't want to ruin everybody's fun. She didn't want to leave. And I was just like, oh my gosh, girl. Anyway, so we go back to the little room, and good thing we went back there at that specific time, because they had the pizza ready to go and stuff, but nobody had said anything. They were just waiting for the girls to come back, and I was like, this is so weird. Let's see, what are we gonna do? Let's do R. It was just so weird. Like, even the birthday girl wasn't even there, and they were just like, where is she? Like, they could have made an announcement, but they just didn't. Anyway, so she finally comes in, and they like get this birthday cake, and there's like a room attendant. These kind of look the same. They're slightly different though. There's this room attendant. Oh no, there's another B. These letters are so tiny. Some of them look the same. Okay, there we go. But anyway, so we finally get going, and they hand out the pizza and stuff, and Emma gets a piece of pepperoni because she likes pepperoni, and David got a piece of cheese because he's basically a vegetarian. Like, he doesn't really like meat at all. But he will eat the, I think it's called like Gardein or something, the vegan meat. Like, whenever I make tacos and stuff, he likes that. But anyway, so he got cheese, and they're eating the pizza, and David's not really eating his pizza, and I'm like, that's not shocking because David doesn't really like to eat anything. He's like super skinny little boy. Anyway, so then they have like that one of the cakes that are like a bunch of cupcakes, and then you pull them apart, but like the cupcakes, the frosting on it is like, I don't know, a certain design or whatever. Anyway, so they put candles on the little cupcake cake thing, and the room attendant put the candles on, and then he lit the candles, except it took him forever because his little candle thing didn't work, and so they had to go get another one, or his lighter thing, not candle. His like little lighter thing that the attendants have didn't work, and so you can tell it was like probably his first day or something. Like he was full panic mode, like, oh my god, what do I do? Like, anyway, and so they finally get the candles to light, and then everybody just sits there in silence, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, this is the moment that you sing happy birthday. And I was like, in my head, like, have they never given this girl a birthday party? Like, how do you not know that when you light the candles, you sing the happy birthday song? Like, that's just the deal, right? Oh, I missed an A. And then it got so awkward and quiet that one of the kids was like, happy birthday? And they said it like a question. And then Emma just started singing. And so then everybody else started singing, and then, like, you know, the song was over, which was so weird. The song was over, and then the birthday girl just sat there and didn't do anything. And I was like, what is going on? Because after the birthday song, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to blow your candles out, right? So I was like, blow your candles out, girl. What are you waiting for? Make that wish. And she was like, okay. So she just went. There were 10 candles, and she just lightly was like, like, no big deal. And like the candle wouldn't blow out. And her mom was like, you have to, you know, blow harder than that. So she was like blowing really hard. And then the candles went out. And they came back on, and I was like, oh no, it's those trick candles, you know. So she kept blowing them out, and they came back on. And then I realized, oh no, these are not the trick candles, because her parents started to panic, and the room attendant was like, oh my god. And her mom went, like, she started panicking so bad that she went and grabbed a water bottle, and I was like, no. In my head, I didn't say anything, but I was just like, there was something up with these candles. They were not trick candles. They just wouldn't go out. And the attendant was like freaking out because he was like, oh god, are we about to have a fire on my first day? Like, oh my god, it was so crazy. So they finally got the candles out. One wouldn't go out. So the mom picked it up and just like stuck it upside down in one of the cupcakes to like extinguish it. Oh my god, it was so weird. And then, so everybody had the cupcakes, and they were like, oh, we have extra pizza. So David was like, yeah, I want a slice, but all they had left was pepperoni, or sausage. It was sausage. And he hadn't even eaten his other piece. And I was like, what? But I didn't say anything. Emma tried to say, no, he's a vegetarian. He doesn't eat meat. And David looked at her like, shut up. He didn't say that, but the look on his face was like, shut up, Emma, you know, and he took the pizza. And I was like, that is weird. What is going on? And so later I asked him, I was like, oh, I'll tell you that in a second. So after they, you know, do the cake and stuff or whatever, then the birthday girl and like half of the people run out. The other half stays in there and they continue eating. You know, my kids were eating cupcakes, so whatever. Anyway, but the birthday girl just like ran out, and I was like, okay, and they started packing up like the party's over, you know, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, this kid didn't even open her gifts or anything, you know? And she was like, oh, she'll open them at home. It's fine. And I'm like, okay. But Emma had gotten this girl a special little necklace. It was like a best friend necklace. So she would have one. They were these like little flowers, but they were mood necklaces. And, you know, one of them was silver and one of them was gold. And, you know, she wanted to give that to her. And then she could have the other one, you know, because best friends, right? And I was like, okay, all right. Well, I told Emma, I was like, just make sure to ask her to bring it, you know, like ask her tomorrow or on Monday or whatever when you're at school, you know, how did she like her presents and stuff like that. Like, how weird is that? Like, not to open your presents at a birthday party with kids. Like, I thought that was what you were supposed to do. Anyway, so yeah, we go home and I was like, David, why did you not eat your cheese pizza and then ask for the pepperoni, but then you didn't eat that either? And he's like, because that was the worst pizza I ever had. It was so disgusting. And Emma was like, yeah, Mom, that pizza was the worst pizza I've ever had in my life. It was so gross. And I'm like, oh my God. And then I'm like, oh, my kids are so sweet. They don't want to be disrespectful to someone and say that like this is gross, so they just keep it to themselves until they get home. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that was sweet of them. I'm like, wow, my kids aren't like, you know, spoiled rude brats or whatever. I was actually kind of proud of them. But anyway, so when we get home, Emma's like, yeah, I hurt myself like real bad. Like right at the beginning, I rolled my ankle, and she has ankle issues anyway. Like, this girl, she's got knee problems, ankle issues. Like, she's like me when I was a kid. I literally would trip over air, you know, like she's just super clumsy. But she said that she was jumping on one of the trampolines and she rolled her ankle and like fell. And I did see that, but I didn't see the ankle thing. I just saw her fall, and I thought that it was just because, you know, it's a trampoline. You're gonna fall when there's 100 kids jumping like crazy animals, you know? And I'm like, wait a minute, you're telling me this happened at the beginning? And she was like, yeah, right at the very beginning. And I'm like, what? Why didn't you tell me? And she was like, well, because I didn't want to leave, and I didn't want to ruin the fun for everybody else. And I was just like, girl, if you're hurt, you can't just keep doing stuff or whatever. But like, she was limping, and like, I had to give her Tylenol and just, you know, like, I didn't know what to do. I was just like, are you all right? You know, like, she could walk and stuff, but she said it was like real painful. So I got her this little ankle foot brace thing, you know, because like she could rotate it, and there was nothing, like, she wasn't crying or anything. She was just like, this does not feel good. So I got her an ankle foot brace thingy to protect it, you know. And I was like, you're gonna wear this even if you feel better. You're gonna wear it for at least a week until next week or whatever, the next week, because she has rollerblading class in school. And I'm like, I don't want you to roll your ankle again and then actually break it or something before rollerblading class, you know, because it was starting the next Monday after that. And she's actually doing rollerblading today, you know, so I wanted to make sure that she doesn't hurt herself anymore. I was like, even if you feel better, you're wearing this for like a week and a half. I don't care. I'm not risking it, girl. But yeah, I thought that was my poor baby. But anyway, so the next Monday comes around and Emma goes to school, and she comes home and she has the necklace on. And I was like, oh, I was like, so Marley gave you the silver one? And she's like, yeah, she wanted the gold one. And I was like, oh, well, you know, she gets to choose which one she has. And she's like, yeah, but I have to bring this back. And I was like, what do you mean you have to bring it back? And she said that this girl, when she asked about the necklace, she was like, did you get your necklace? And she was like, yeah, I love it, it's great. And she's like, did you bring my necklace? And she was like, what do you mean your necklace? And she's like, well, I bought that, you know, because we're best friends or whatever. So, like, you get one and then I get one. And she was like, it's not your necklace. And she's like, but I bought it for us. And the girl's like, I mean, you can wear it today, but the world doesn't revolve around you. So I have other friends too. So you're just going to have to take turns. And I was like, what the hell? I was like, oh, okay, why is this like poking out? Hopefully it doesn't come out. I was like, what? I was like, did you explain that was a gift for you guys to share? And she was like, yeah. And she told me that I was being selfish. And I was like, that little bee, oh my gosh. I was so mad. And I was like, well, okay, fine, you have it for today or whatever. And she's like, then she told me that she had to earn it. And I was like, what? She said that this girl made her earn the necklace, since if she wanted to wear it and she wanted to be her first best friend, then she had to do stuff. And I was like, what do you mean? What did she tell you had to do? And she was like, well, if you're my true best friend, then you'll run across this room. Excuse me? Emma was wearing the ankle brace. This girl knew that Emma hurt her ankle and she had to wear a brace for safety. And the girl told her, you have to run across the room if you want it. And I was like, Emma, did you do that? And she was like, no, I told her that I couldn't do that because my ankle was like sprained or whatever. And I was like, oh my God, I was so pissed. Like, who does this little brat think she is? You know, like, So I immediately have instant rage for this kid. Like, this girl is no good. Anyway, I was like, so how did you end up with it today? And she was like, well, she told me that I had to walk up to my boyfriend and say something rude. And I was like, did you do it? And she was like, well, yeah, but I told him I was joking. And I was like, okay, that's great that your boyfriend understood that it was a joke and he let you do it so that you could get this necklace, which was nice, you know, of her boyfriend to understand that this girl is a total B. But the fact that her best friend wanted her to go insult her boyfriend just to prove her friendship, girl, oh my gosh, if I ever wanted to hit a freaking 10-year-old, oh my gosh, I was just like, I was like, no. I was like, you know what? No. You are going to take that necklace back to school tomorrow. Because she kept saying, you can keep it for another week or a month if you do this or this or this. So Emma kept doing random stuff so that she could keep it for a month. She was like, so I get to have it for a whole month. And I'm like, no. No, no, no. No, you are not. I was like, you're going to take that back to school tomorrow. And you're going to give it back to Marley. And you're going to tell her that you got this because you guys are supposed to be best friends. And if she thinks that she's can make you try out to be her best friend and that the world doesn't revolve around you and that you have to prove your friendship, that it's not worth it. And then I want you to give it back to her and say it's not worth it. It's not worth it. so the next day she did. And I was like, what did this girl say? And she was like, the girl was happy that I brought it back because she had already promised it to another friend or whatever. And I was like, did you tell her that it wasn't worth it? You know, like did she understand what you were saying? And she was like, yeah, but she didn't care. I was like, girl, this chick is not your friend. She is the worst. I was like, you should never have to prove your friendship to someone. If they are your friend, that's it. They're your friend. There's no proving your worth to them, you know? And I was like, because she has another best friend who has been her best friend since preschool, you know? And this girl is actually really good. And I like her a lot. And I was like, this girl, your, you know, OG best friend, she is a friend worth having. This other girl, no. Forget her. She is... some words I'm not going to say. But I'm like, you can be friendly with her, you know, just know that that's not real friendship. That's somebody that she says the world doesn't revolve around you. She thinks the world revolves around her, you know. And so then I know this is totally weird, but I was like, why are some like little girls like such jerks? Because at this party there was a bunch of them that were just like super bratty and selfish and just awful. And I'm like, I understand little kids not understanding, you know, other people exist in the world, because that's a thing, you know. But I'm like, these girls are older, like they're all 10 or whatever, but they're really like little teenagers. I'm telling you, like they're much more older than, you know. Anyway, but I was like, why are some girls such, you know, not nice, whatever? And I looked it up and it said that some children develop empathy sooner than other children. Everybody has the ability to develop empathy. Because, like, you know, serial killers and stuff, they don't have empathy. They have the ability to develop it, but it just never developed, you know. But young girls, they develop empathy at different rates. And so I explained that to her because she just didn't understand. My daughter, she was like, I don't understand why she said this or whatever. Like, she was actually really hurt by the necklace situation. I was like, so I explained to her the whole empathy thing, and she understood it. And I was like, I think that you may have just developed empathy much earlier, you know, because you care about other people's feelings and the outcome of what you say and stuff like that, you know. So I was like, but also she could be raised completely different. She could be like a spoiled, like an overly spoiled kid. Like my kids, they're 100% spoiled, but they're not, I don't want to say they're not brats. This girl, 100% brat. And like, I saw that at the party. Like, she's a selfish, but you know, she could be raised that way because she is the baby of the family. And I know that babies are definitely spoiled, you know. But like, I don't know, she just didn't have manners or anything like that. So that, and I told them, I was like, don't say that, oh, she hasn't developed empathy or anything. So, you know, like, don't say that. I was just telling you that so that you know, there's a reason why certain people act a certain way, and, you know. And she was really, really upset about the whole necklace thing. So I haven't ordered it yet, but I'm going to. I am ordering a best friend necklace. I told David, I was was going to do that as a surprise for Emma, but I'm ordering a best friend necklace for me and Emma, because I will always be her best friend, and I will never have her prove her worth to me, you know. And he liked it. He thought that she was really going to like that, but he was like, I want a necklace. And I was like, you want a best friend necklace like this? And he was like, no, I want a skull necklace. So I'm going to order him a skull necklace so that we can all have necklaces. But anyway, isn't that crazy? Like, just crazy weekend. But anyway, I think we did quite a bit. It was right here now. So he'll be like, wow, I did so much more. I don't know if you can see how pretty it is, but it's quite gorgeous. I wish the bigger ones had super pretty diamonds like this. Anyway, I really hope that you enjoyed that rambling. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.